Hey, Vikings faithful. Skull Nation, are you ready to get hyped? We're diving into the latest Vikings news, and it's all about our rookie quarterback sensation, J.J. McCarthy. Lighting up the preseason and gearing up for a monster 2025 season. The buzz is electric as we're just weeks away from seeing McCarthy take the field as the potential Week 1 starter against the Chicago Bears in a primetime showdown at Soldier Field. Can you feel the purple pride surging already? Let's set the stage. J.J. McCarthy, the 22-year-old phenom from Michigan, is stepping into the spotlight after a year of anticipation. The Vikings have been grooming this kid to be the future of the franchise, and his preseason debut against the Houston Texans gave us a tantalizing taste of what's to come. But here's the teaser that's got everyone talking. Did McCarthy's limited reps in that game raise questions about his readiness? Or is he already showing star potential in practices? Stick around, because we're breaking it all down. So, what's the word on the street? Posts on X and updates from Vikings.com are buzzing about McCarthy's performance, and we're here to unpack it all with you. From his clutch throws to his jaw-dropping joint practice domination, we're covering every angle of this Vikings news. Let's dive into the 15 scenes of this epic journey and see why Skull Nation is ready to roar for JJ. McCarthy's first taste of NFL action came in the Vikings' preseason opener against the Houston Texans, and let me tell you, it was a moment. He led a 10-play scoring drive, completing 4 of 7 passes for 30 yards, ending with a field goal that had US Bank Stadium buzzing. The kid looked comfortable, scrambling for a first down on 4th, and 2 like a seasoned pro. Were you screaming at your screen like I was? But not everyone was sold. Derek Klassen from The Athletic pointed out that McCarthy's reps were limited, just 1 drive, and some throws, like an 18-yard pass to Jordan Addison, were a bit off target. Addison made a diving catch to save it, but Klassen noted McCarthy might be gripping the ball too tight after not playing competitively for a year. Is this a red flag? Or just a rookie shaking off some rust? Here's where it gets juicy. Klassen compared McCarthy's arm to Baker Mayfield's, saying he can thread the needle but sometimes overshoots by a few yards. That pass to Addison? McCarthy was hit as he threw, and Addison was held coming out of his break. Sounds like the kid's got the tools but needs a bit more polish. What do you think, Skull fans? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Now, let's talk about what happened after that Texans game. McCarthy didn't suit up for the Vikings' second preseason game against the Patriots, which had some fans scratching their heads. Why hold him out? Head coach Kevin O'Connell, the QB whisperer himself, has a history of using joint practices to evaluate his signal callers, and that's where McCarthy turned heads. According to The Athletic's Chad Graff, McCarthy was an absolute star in joint practices against New England starters. Picture this. 17 of 20 passes completed, 6 touchdowns, and the Patriots' defense left in the dust. That's the kind of performance that makes you want to paint your face purple and scream, "Skull!" But here's the question. Is O'Connell playing it too safe by limiting McCarthy's game reps? Some analysts, like Klassen, wanted 2 or 3 drives in that Texans game to really test him. Are the Vikings building him up slowly for a reason, or should we be worried about his game-time experience? Let's hear your take. Vikings Nation, let's zoom in on that Texans drive for a second, because there's more to unpack. McCarthy's 30 yards on 4 completions doesn't sound like much, but context is everything. He converted 3 first downs, including a clutch run on 4th down that showed his athleticism. The kid's got poise, but that slightly off-target throw to Addison has sparked some debate. Klassen's critique wasn't all negative. He sees the potential. That 18-yard gain to Addison was a thing of beauty, even if it required a spectacular catch. McCarthy's ability to zip the ball is undeniable, but timing is everything in the NFL. After a year away from live action, is it fair to expect perfection right away? Vikings news from Vikings.com confirms O'Connell's confidence in McCarthy, with the coach praising his command of the offense. But here's the hook. If he's this good in limited action, what happens when he gets a full game to shine? Are you as pumped as I am to see him carve up defenses? Let's talk about it. Switching gears, let's dive into those joint practices against the Patriots because whoa. Chad Graff's report on X painted a picture of McCarthy torching New England starters like it was a video game. 6 touchdowns in 1 practice? That's the kind of stat line that gets Skull Nation dreaming of playoffs. The Patriots' defense, led by Brian Flores, was supposed to be a tough test, but McCarthy made them look like practice squatters. Completing 85% of his passes in those drills shows he's not just a rookie, he's a playmaker. Does this make you believe he's ready for Week 1? But here's the twist. O'Connell's decision to skip McCarthy in the Patriots game means we didn't see him in a real game setting against them. Is this a strategic move to keep him fresh? Or are the Vikings being overly cautious? Hit the comments and tell me what you think O'Connell's game plan is. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. McCarthy's readiness for that primetime stage against the Bears. Soldier Field, under the lights with the whole NFL watching. Can you imagine the pressure? The Vikings news buzzing around X suggests fans are split. Some see a star in the making, others want more game reps to be sure. Klassen's point about McCarthy's timing needing work is fair, but let's not forget he was hit on that throw to Addison and still delivered. The kid's got grit, and O'Connell's trust in him during practices speaks volumes. Are we looking at the next great Vikings QB? Here's the million-dollar question. Is one preseason drive and a stellar joint practice enough to prep him for Chicago's defense? I want to hear from you, Skull fans. Do you trust McCarthy to lead the Vikings to a Week 1 win? Drop your predictions below. Let's paint a picture of that Texans game again, because it's worth revisiting. McCarthy's 10-play drive was a masterclass in poise for a rookie. He wasn't just throwing, he was reading the defense, making smart decisions, and using his legs when it mattered. That fourth down scamper had me jumping off my couch. But Klassen's right about one thing. That throw to Addison wasn't perfect. Addison's diving catch saved the day, but McCarthy's arm strength was on display. It's raw talent, but does he need more live reps to fine-tune it? What's your take, Vikings fans? Vikings.com reported that O'Connell loved McCarthy's command and decision-making, even in limited action. If he's this good with just one drive, imagine what he'll do with a full game plan. Are you ready to see him unleash the full playbook in Week 1? Now, let's get into why O'Connell might be holding McCarthy back from more preseason snaps. The Vikings head coach is known for his meticulous approach, and joint practices are his bread and butter for evaluating talent. McCarthy's 17 of 20 performance against the Patriots starters proves O'Connell's method works. But here's the catch. Joint practices aren't games. There's no crowd noise, no real stakes. Some fans on X are wondering if McCarthy's lack of game reps could bite us when the regular season hits. Is O'Connell's strategy genius or risky? Let's debate it. The good news? McCarthy's showing he can handle pressure. 6 touchdowns in practice against a Flores-led defense is no joke. If he brings that energy to Soldier Field, the Bears are in trouble. Who else is counting down the days to kickoff? Let's talk about Jordan Addison for a sec, because he's a big part of this story. That diving catch in the Texans game was straight-up highlight reel stuff. McCarthy's throw wasn't perfect, but Addison's ability to bail him out shows the chemistry building between these two. Could this be the next great QBWR duo for the Vikings? Posts on X from @PhilMackey highlighted Addison's role in that drive, noting how McCarthy targeted him for key plays. The fact that Addison made a tough catch look easy is a testament to his talent. Are you as excited as I am about this connection? But here's the thing. If McCarthy's throws are slightly off, like Klassen pointed out, he'll need receivers like Addison to keep making plays. Can the Vikings offense gel in time for Week 1? Drop your thoughts in the comments, Skull Nation. Let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. The Vikings QB situation. McCarthy's the guy we've been waiting for since Kirk Cousins left, and the hype is real. Vikings news is buzzing with talk of his potential, but the limited preseason reps have some fans nervous. Are we rushing him? O'Connell's track record with quarterbacks gives me hope. The guy turned Cousins into a clutch performer, and now he's molding McCarthy into a star. That joint practice performance against the Patriots? That's O'Connell's coaching at work. Do you trust KOC to get McCarthy ready? Here's the kicker. If McCarthy struggles early, the pressure's on. Soldier Field is a tough place to make your first start, and Bears fans will be out for blood. What's your confidence level in McCarthy right now? Let's hear it. Let's talk about that Patriots joint practice again because it's too good not to. McCarthy didn't just play well, he dominated. 6 touchdowns against a defense coached by Brian Flores, who knows the Vikings inside and out. That's the kind of performance that gets you hyped for the season. Chad Graff's report on X said the Patriots defense got shredded by McCarthy. That's not just a good day, that's a statement. The kid's got the arm, the brains, and the swagger to lead this team. Are you starting to believe he's the real deal? But here's the lingering question. Why no game reps against New England? O'Connell's clearly confident in McCarthy's practice performance, but is that enough to prepare him for the chaos of a real NFL game? Tell me what you think, Vikings fans. Let's bring it back to the Texans game for a moment. That one drive showed us McCarthy's potential, but it also showed he's human. The sailed throw to Lucky Jackson, as noted by Phil Mackey on X, was one he'd want back. Rookies make mistakes, but how quickly can McCarthy learn? Klassen's point about McCarthy gripping the ball too tight makes sense when you consider he hadn't played live in a year. Timing is everything in the NFL, and he's still finding his rhythm. Do you think a few more preseason snaps would have helped him lock in? The good news is that O'Connell and the Vikings coaching staff are all in on McCarthy. Vikings.com reported that KOC sees him as the future, and that Texans drive showed glimpses of why. Are you ready to see him take the next step? Let's talk about the Bears matchup because it's coming fast. Soldier Field is no joke. Loud, hostile, and a tough place for a rookie to make his first start. Vikings News is hyping this game as a defining moment for McCarthy. Can he handle the spotlight? McCarthy's shown he can sling it in practice, but a primetime game is a whole different beast. The Bears' defense will come after him, and he'll need to stay cool under pressure. Based on what we've seen, do you think he's ready to silence the Chicago crowd? Here's the fun part. If McCarthy balls out in Week 1, the narrative changes. No more talk of needs more reps or shaky timing. A big game could make him the face of the Vikings overnight. What's your bold prediction for his first start? Let's address the critics for a second. Klassen's take on the Athletic Football Show wasn't all negative. He sees the upside in McCarthy's arm talent. But the limited reps complaint is real. One drive in the preseason opener isn't much to go on, especially for a rookie QB. That said, McCarthy's joint practice performance against the Patriots is hard to ignore. 6 touchdowns don't happen by accident. O'Connell's clearly using those sessions to build McCarthy's confidence. But is it enough to carry him through a full game? Skull Nation, I want to know. Are you worried about the lack of game reps? Or do you trust O'Connell's plan? Hit the comments and let's get this debate going. The Vikings season is riding on this kid. Let's wrap this up with some big-picture Vikings news. McCarthy's the future, but the present is looking pretty exciting too. With weapons like Jordan Addison and a coach like Kevin O'Connell, the Vikings are building something special. Are you feeling the playoff vibes yet? The buzz on X and Vikings.com is that McCarthy's got the tools to be a star, but it's all about execution. That Texans drive was a teaser, the Patriots practice was a statement, and Week 1 will be the real test. What's the one thing you want to see from McCarthy in that Bears game? Skull Nation, this is our time. Let's keep the energy high and the purple pride strong. Drop your thoughts, predictions, and hot takes in the comments. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with every Vikings fan you know. Let's go, Vikings!